This morning's walk is from Ifonche. The bars I would normally go to are closed. One is closed permanently, the other is on a holiday. So we're at the last bar. The Three Rockies would be there, but you can't see Condi. It's behind the one in front of it. There we are, a bit different. The grapes in the bar. At the bottom of Ifonche, as you can see, the bottom. Actually sat waiting for my Garmin to find a satellite. Said it can't find it, it needs a blue sky. Well, got a lot of blue sky. But I'll get going in a minute. Well, here we are, the start of the walk, the bottom of Ifonche, looking for the start of the path. Well, the start of the walk was wrong. We actually start by walking up the stream bed in the barranco. A difficult start to the walk. I'm no longer supposed to be in the barranco. This appears to be the path up there, but it would be extremely difficult to find this if you haven't got a GPS. Well, I left the stream bed behind. I suspect I'm going up there, onto the top ridge up there, but we're climbing fairly rapidly at present, rough ground. But again, the silence is golden. Climbing fairly hard actually, although the path has now become easier. These really aren't paths. There's where the water runs off the tops of the barrancos and down into the streams. But there we are, nearly at the top. Oh, there we are, virtually at the top. I came from way down there, and we're going further up now. I'm afraid it's straight up for 2 kilometres, up just over 1,000 feet. A lot of young trees here. About 5 years ago, I suppose, there was a fire here, wiped out most of this forest, but as you can see, it's growing back, and the trees do survive fire. They've even lost the soot. They were all covered in soot the year after when we first came up here. But there we are, into the forest. The start of the walk was much nicer than I expected. Normally when you get up here it starts getting rocky, which it is now to some extent, but we are getting higher. You can see the top of Ifonche there. If I can find them, where are they? They're on the top of the hill. That's it. I forgot to show you where I'm going, which is up there. Again, you need to be going uphill to the top. Well, I have two paths, one going up there and one going up there as usual. The GPS says straight on, so we go straight up the hill to get the turn up. Walking has got a bit more difficult. We've got pine needles on top of loose rock. Never a good thing to climb on. These are the waterways that replace the ones carved out of rock. These have been manufactured. But again, a lot of work. They're all over the mountains in Tenerife. Now, very little water runs down these. They've got either steel or plastic pipes instead. Well, those are the mountains again, but down here in the bottom you can see a water pumping station in the bottom of the next barranco. That's the next barranco on the other side. Quite serious barrancos. And if your fancy took you, there is a path that goes down the wall this side of the barranco. Again, not for me. Really getting into the rocky, stony area on this side now. I think I'm slightly. One of the burnt trees from 4 or 5 years ago, they were lots like this. Completely burnt and collapsed. Fortunately, the pines do recover, and the mountain does. Well, up for a while. The barranco at the other side, of course, still getting deeper, but we're going up and up. The barranco on the opposite side, oh sorry, the cliffs on the opposite side of the barranco. As you can see, it's quite a deep barranco, down there to the stream bed, and then it splits. Still quite deep all the way up. Again, we're staying away from it. Time for a water stop. While we're here, there in the distance is Conde. We're now slightly higher, I would say, than Conde. Still climbing, but you also see that the trees have thinned out tremendously. So now it's getting warm. The forecast out here today was 29 degrees C, so it is a bit warm up here. Well, there we are. That's the water stop done with, and I suppose, we'll saddle up and go bye-bye. We have a helicopter running behind us. Oh, carrying water. There must be a fire somewhere. Not seen any smoke. There, why you come up here, we're above the clouds, La Gomera and El Hierro. There it is, up there carrying water. So if there's a fire, it's further over. This is the barranco that I started on, right down in the bottom there, and there in the distance is Ifonche. We're getting fairly high up now, as you can see from the barranco, and you can still see La Gomera there. Helicopter on its second run. It appears to be picking water up from the Ifonche near Vila Floor, and although I can't see any smoke anywhere about, I suspect that sensibility suggests that I go across and walk back down rather than carry on going up a mountain when I don't know whether there's a fire somewhere. Well, the helicopter's on its way around again. I've reached a flat place, beautiful views, but because it's flat, that's the Branco there, there's another Branco on the far side, but this is flat. It looks as though someone has walked across here, so it'll get me back to the return path. So I'm going this way. The path is still a bit further down apparently, but the helicopter's still up there. And you can see him going down towards there he is. Whether he's in practice runs or whether there's a fire somewhere, I don't know. Oh no, up there is again there's a water tank. Ah, he's dropping water into the tank. How interesting. Must be practicing. Probably isn't a fire then. This is the other side of the mountain that we walked around when we were up near Vila Floor. It goes down to the vineyards further down. Very nice. It's the first time I've been up this hill. A rather interesting excursion. When I crossed over where I thought it was flat, but it was flat, what I didn't realise and what doesn't show on the map is that there's a small barranco between the two paths, the one going up on the left, the one coming down on the right. When I was looking at the map up at the top, it looked as though I got to climb down the barranco and out the other side that way, and I didn't know what was down that side, so I came down the middle, eventually crossed this path down at the bottom, which is the return path that runs much lower down than this one. Still, we're now back on the return route. Well, the path disappeared again. It looks as if it went there, but I need to be up there somewhere. So we climb up the hill. I don't want to be down in the barranco down here. Climbed that bit of a hill and down the path again. Somebody with a cairn, but you can actually see where it goes now. Well, back on the way down, but as you can see, that's not easy to see. It does disappear from time to time. Fortunately, there are little white dots and the cairns to tell people where they are. But the top is certainly a bit odd, and again, could be either way, but it must be this one. This is much more worn. We're now beginning to go down over loose pebbles on rock, so I've stopped filming. Well, on the way down, the helicopters have gone. Perhaps if I'd have ignored them, I would have been alright, because I'd been able to walk around the top of the loop and stay on the path all the way, but never mind. There you are. All three of the peaks, looking in different direction, but Conde and the other two peaks. There's Conde, one there, the other there, and Ifonche down there. Another reminder of forest fires and why the helicopter people are always practicing with the water drops. These are from 4 years ago, 5 years ago, but even the tall trees have still got burn marks on them. If I'd have taken the other way down, which appeared to be down into the barranco on the left that you can see up there, then I would have probably finished up down there. And although that will walk out at the same place when I get to the bottom, somewhere along there may have been a large cliff face that I had to scramble down, so it's not worth doing. You can see you don't want to be faced with one of them faces. Well, we must be getting to the stage where we get from the rocks and start going back into the forest. It keeps you fit. There might be now changing. You can see the change from the rock surface into the pine needles on the floor as we go back into the forest. Oh, why, it's nice in the shade. Obviously getting near the end now, and in the distance there, Ifonche, you can see the road. And I suppose if I walk down a bit, as you can see, lots of pine needles now on rock. Yeah, if I just stand up there, that's where the level I'm going down to. That's the path that runs from where I left the minibus. So nice agriculture in Tenerife. We only grow potatoes up here. Land for agriculture. Of course now vineyards are taking over because there's more money in it. The bottom of the barranco is down there, and this takes you right down to it in the far distance there. Now towards the bottom, this was the part that I thought it made the walk look very attractive. A covering of brown pine needles in amongst the trees. And utter silence. It's really so nice. Oopsie daisy, so nice. So to get away from civilization. So beautiful. There, through the trees, somewhere, there's the minibus. That's where I'm going. Yeah, walking down towards the barranco. These are in the middle, aren't man-made, these are made by water, rushing off the tops now and then when it rains heavily. Oops, it is another one. There we are, at the top of the last little bit down, the stream bed in the barranco down there. Oh dear, and here we are. Oops, it is back in the stream bed. Always a problem walking in these. You're never sure which rocks are loose. And there we are, straight ahead. There's the minibus. So where are we going? 5 minutes more. Well, back in 2 hours, which is what it was supposed to take. So we're not doing that. Oh, 50 flowers.